There are reasons why they may be so sensitive, you know, because their consciousness is different from ours. Ours is focused, whereas the animal's consciousness seems to spread outwards and pick up influences that we aren't commonly aware of.
As a result of their worries about what they've seen and felt at the property, the family now call in the Living with the Dead team for help. Mark Webb is a psychic investigator. He's been collecting evidence of the paranormal for 12 years. His task is to spend the night in the tunnel and try to gather some physical evidence to back up what the family have said. He places heat gauges in various locations to monitor sudden drops in temperature, believed to indicate the presence of spirits, as well as a battery of video cameras. But throughout the night, he does suffer numerous unexpected equipment failures.
We'll go back into this one. Now this is where the family and Rudy held the seance, which caused cameras playing silly sods. Battery is draining pretty rapidly. Not the sort of place any sane person will want to spend any time on their own. If the battery's going on that as well, it's a brand new one, and just put it in. It's very weird, these tunnels, because you know it's raining, you know it's leaking, it's dripping, but wherever you are, the drips seem worse. It's a very, very weird experience. I've just had my mini disc making funny noises at me. I've just checked it, the battery's completely dead. Put a new battery in, that one's drained dead as well. We're not having a good night with equipment, we're really not. Oh, there's a spot here that Chris has told me that people feel very uneasy, and I think I've caught that spot. I'll turn the camera around for a bit because I can see what they're saying. It is. Ooh. You certainly do feel sick. To say you've got the crucifixes, and we know that this was used as a convent. It doesn't have a good feel. I spent a very interesting night in the tunnel next to this property. Although all my equipment was tested before I attended the location, I had numerous pieces of equipment fail on me. And I have to say, this is the worst place I've ever had to spend the night.
The following morning, medium Johnny Fiore arrives. She wants to sense for herself what is going on, and she's specifically concerned by the family's belief that spirit activity is affecting Coral's moods.
I'm fascinated and intrigued. What is the degree of nastiness that's actually going down in the house? The fact that Coral, the daughter, has taken on different types of facial expressions and mannerisms is of a supernatural nature, and it is not something to take lightly.
Before meeting the family, Johnny prefers to see the tunnel herself. So she joins up with local psychic Rudy Unt, who had previously been called in by the family. Hewn into the wall of the entrance to the tunnel is a cross serving as a memorial to its past religious association. But it is at the top end that Johnny feels a growing sense of spirit presence.
I get this heavy feeling of foreboding, and I feel like I'm facing my death standing here. I get this feeling that whatever happened here, that cross, wasn't going to let that energy pass out of here.
Johnny is then drawn to a side chamber. This is the room where Mark had trouble with his recording equipment, and her attention is drawn to a shelf at the back.
That looks like an altar.
And there's a man, he just pulls my chest, and he stands in the entrance to the door there, and you can feel him. He's watching us now, he's aware of us.
Yes, because no one leaves this room. But there's something else here, and I can't put my finger on it.
There's a lady here.
Yes. Is this one of the nuns?
Yes.
I don't like it in here, and I'm ready to go.
Both Johnny and Rudy feel that the tunnel was used for some dark purpose while it was part of the nunnery, something which local historian Fred Davis picks up on.
It wasn't a tunnel at all. It was one of 2 cells that were cut directly back into the hillside, and it was used as punishment cells for the young nuns. It is said, although I couldn't confirm it, that one of the awful punishments was pulling out of fingernails.
And there is a contemporary account which may explain Johnny and Rudy's feeling of a man and woman's lingering spirit in the side chamber.
A young nun escaped from a convent because of the treatment there. She had fallen in love with a gardener, the only man that was employed in the place. There had been suggestions that even if she was pregnant, I mean, this would be unforgivable.
Johnny then meets up with the family to hear their story.
What was the first time that you felt that there was something amiss with your property, with your home?
The kitchen's horrible. Kitchen can be really horrible, can't it?
Yeah, the kitchen's black.
It's light in here, but it's still really dark pitch black in the kitchen.
Black shadow stands by the fridge.
Is that guy that's standing at one of the rooms in that tunnel in there?
Yeah, he's there.
Does he come in your room, Chris?
Yeah. Big black shadow walks
you can feel
across the room right to the curtain.
This man is taking over your home. He goes from kitchen all the way to the back of the house. He moves back and forth. This is a loving home, and you've got all this darkness, and that's what we need to address, and that's what we're going to shift.
Yeah.
Okay?
Chris and Coral's flat forms part of a larger property, DeSale's house, which had various uses before the nuns moved in. It sits in an area known as the Ghost Triangle, where ley lines of psychic energy are believed to cross the countryside.
Ley lines traverse the whole globe. Interestingly, there is a very, very strong ley line that runs from an ancient burial site up on the top of Mendip Hill, through Shepton Mallet, through the church, very close to Sell's house, and down to Glastonbury. I believe that it is the energy from these lines that may well have been creating the poltergeist.
Shepton Mallet also sits in an area which has a rich and bloody heritage.
Its history goes back from the days when there was a Roman town here. In the 8th century, for example, a son of an Irish king and 11 followers were slaughtered here in Shepton Mallet. There's good reason for them to haunt the town alone. We've had lots of witch trials, burning of witches in our marketplace, the Monmouth Rebellion. 13 poor Protestants were hung, drawn and quartered. Their quarters boiled in oil and placed at strategic points around the town as a warning to other rebels.
It is now time for house cleanser Ian Lawman to rid the property of the spirits the family have felt. First, he looks around the rooms of their flat. He starts in the bedroom, the room where Chris believes she saw a black cloud hovering above her bed.
It's really, it's quite cloudy in here, almost like being in a nightclub. You walk in, you can slice it, it's so strange. Quite a nasty taste in my mouth, like a thirst, you know, when sometimes you want to drink and you can't get a drink down, it's just quite a nasty taste. That's interesting. I get a coldness, a draft. I just got it then, just like a small child, just from straight past me. Quite mischievous. I don't like it in here, I must move out.
Ian then moves to the kitchen, the room which backs straight onto the tunnel.
We can feel the energy change.